day 45 of the 45-day challenge. So basically, the challenge is over. And so for those of you who don't know what this challenge was about, is basically a challenge that was basically designed or that I created in order for myself and anybody else that wanted to join to really start to confront the fears, the insecurities, the internal things that block us from achieving the things that we want in life and from taking action. And so over the past 45 days, I really took on the challenge of becoming financially stable. And so my whole challenge, I called it Project Cash Flow. And so basically the idea was to make more money than I'm spending. And the way I wanted to do that was through this business, the social media marketing business that I created. And so honestly, the challenge was not a success in the sense that I did not reach my goal of becoming cash flow positive. And that's okay. I wanted to take this episode to basically kind of go over what I have been able to accomplish over the past 45 days in pursuit of this goal, and then kind of maybe talk about what's next. Okay, so I wrote it all down here on my handy dandy whiteboard, and there's some key statistics that I want to kind of cite, right? So one of the big things, that I've been trying to do is like really grow my social media following, especially around this message, of like just taking actions and going past your fears and your insecurities and the things that stop us, right? And so as a result of like, vlogging every day and getting onto all of these different platforms and posting content, this is some of the results that I was able to get. So on Facebook, in 45 days, I went from 0 likes on my Facebook page to 710 likes last I checked, 880 followers, posted 45 videos. I did 1 Facebook Live, which was very big for me, by the way. And out of the videos, all of the videos, we had a total of 60,000 minutes viewed, about 90,000 views, video views all together, and 69,000 views was on my first video. So that's pretty big. I guess the What's Your Why video really resonated with a lot of people. And I also, just in the last 4 weeks, we in the channel were able to have reached 181,000 people across the world. And so that means 181 individual people got into contact with like some of my videos. Whether or not they watched it, is another story, but definitely the reach was wide. And so that's just Facebook. And then on Instagram, I have now 832 followers, and so that's about 60 plus people over the past 45 days, roughly. I also posted 20 times on Instagram, generally speaking once per day when I started to post, and also started doing Instagram stories, which are kind of another big thing for me. And then on Twitter, I went from almost nothing, honestly. Maybe I had like 25 followers to 151 followers as of today. And I've tweeted at least 100 times since I started this challenge. And then lastly, on YouTube, now I have 51 followers and, obviously 45 vlogs or 45 videos for each day that I was vlogging. And in total, about 2,344 minutes viewed of those vlogs, and 837 viewed videos, or video views, I should say. And so those are pretty good statistics. And maybe some of the statistics that you might not know about is, or it's not as obvious, is, I've just reconnected with a ton of people and connected with some new people as a result of me just putting myself out there. And so just like, if I look through my inboxes and stuff and the messages that I've gotten, I've reconnected with over 22 people, and I've formed new connections with over 12 people. And so, the impact and that I've had seems to be pretty big, And this is just after 45 days of vlogging each and every day and being consistent about that. So consistency, guys, is key with respect to anything in life, I realize. And some of the softer things that I've been able to accomplish are, one, I've learned a ton in these 45 days. I've learned a ton about Facebook ads and just social media marketing in general. I've learned about setting up a business. I've learned about contracts, spoken to accountants. Like, I have a pretty decent understanding about that. And I've also learned, other tools like Lightroom and Hootsuite and some of these other tools that I've been using in my business. In addition to that, I have one client now, and so that happened during this challenge for my social media marketing business that's really focused on social entrepreneurs or people in the self-improvement industries and businesses that generally have like a higher mission to really impact the quality of life for everyday people. And so I have one client, she's amazing, and I'll eventually share with you guys if I have to talk to her about that. But with respect to reaching like my financial marker, I'm only about like a quarter of the way, a third of the way there. And so still a ways away, but I'm not giving up on that because obviously I need to survive. But besides those things, I've also, in these 45 days, I was able to do my first keynote speech ever. I spoke at this community, this meditation community called My Inner Glow, and they had me come in and speak to their community, and that was dope. And that was one of the things in my bucket list, like I've always wanted to have a speech, like to do speeches. And actually another thing on my bucket list was to speak to over 10,000 people. And I've kind of done that to a certain extent with just this channel, well over 10,000 people have watched my videos, and I've made an impact in some way. And so that's kind of pseudo hitting that bucket list goal. But definitely doing that speech was right on there. Also, I connected with one of the top influencers in the industry that I'm interested in, like self-improvement, etc. Right? And he's a podcaster. His name is Lewis Howes, and he's amazing. He's on book tour right now with his book, The Mask of Masculinity. And so go ahead and buy that or read it if you get a chance. Great, it should be great content. I'm going to be reading it over this weekend probably. But either way, like I have like a list of people that I admire, that I look up to, that are ahead of me in their like careers and what they're up to in the world. And he's one of them. And so I had the pleasure to meet him last week, and I'm just like, wow, like the things that I've been asking for are starting to come true, which is really cool. And then besides that, also like I mentioned before, I did a Facebook Live, which was very big for me, like just getting live and sharing and like being like in front of people like that. And so that was another big victory for me. And that leads really well into like some of the softer things that I've been able to accomplish, which were to, one, become more confident and more sort of fearless. Like I'm not as scared to like put myself out there anymore or like become vulnerable. So that's very huge, and I think that's essential in order to like achieve any goal or dream that you have, essentially, right? I've also have had a ton of like freedom and peace of mind and excitement, honestly, as I've chosen the path that I am on, and I'm okay with it. Like before, there was a lot of resistance, like, oh, I don't know, like what are people gonna think, and all of that's in the background. And now I've just kind of put that to the side. I'm like, this is it. I went all in, and I'm really happy about it. And it's funny, I'll spend hours working on the vlogs and business, and it doesn't feel like quite like work like it used to when I was working in corporate. And so that's huge for me. Also, like along those lines, I just have a lot of clarity around where I'm going, and I have the vision of the future for myself and my life and the impact I want to have in the world. And it's just like, it excites me, and it's great to have that clarity. And that just came out of just choosing it, and things have just started to align with what I've chosen. And like I'm starting to get back into like my health routines and like just learning more. I've been in the gym, I'm listening to audiobooks again, and so that's been kind of big for me as well, because I kind of let that slide. So what hasn't gone so well in these 45 days? And that's probably what you guys are really wondering. So because most people just tell you all the good things, and then they don't really tell you like the dirty. And so I'm going to tell you the dirty right now. So one of the biggest things is, like insights versus action. And so I give you guys these insights that I'm learning each and every day and attempting to act on them, but it's hard to keep track of them and to actually live by them. It's so easy. We're so accustomed to just saying what we should do. Like, we all know what there is to do, but then which is why I always really try to emphasize action, just like taking the actions, because that's when you really see, like, you put in your money where your mouth is. And, I've been good about taking a lot of action, but there's a lot of actions that I haven't taken that are consistent with what I've been discovering and the insights around what would work for me. And so that's something that I haven't been doing a very good job of consistently. I'm just also not really going all out. Like, I'm probably operating at like 70% or something like that. I just could only imagine what life would be like if I were just going 100%, just knocking on every door, doing what I gotta do, just being straight up fearless and confident and just getting after it, and not letting those fears stop me. It would be something worth seeing, though. It's just, there's such a hurdle to get over, to get to that side and just explore it. Though I've been moving forward constantly, it's just, I always wonder what would it be like if I just went all out, which I haven't. I also have been kind of, like I mentioned earlier, I've been neglecting like my health and my relationships. Like, it hasn't been a consistent thing, and those are like really, I recognize, foundational aspects of my life. And when my health is out of whack, or when I'm not seeing the people I care about, there's a hole in like my being, and like I'm not as engaged or as fulfilled or as happy and as effective. Like, there's just, life is just so much more different when I have those two rocks, those two, like, just solid. And so I've been neglecting those things, and those are things that really need to work on. Going along with the insights, I think some of the key insights that I haven't really followed were, one, just like integrity, like doing what I said, and like when I said it, like, and just doing it, and scheduling everything in my calendar and following what I say I'm going to do. Also, just like, with respect to just doing high value work, the Pareto principle 80-20, I haven't been using that as well as I could. I end up procrastinating with productive work, like learning and doing research and stuff, instead of taking the actions that would actually move me forward. And like, whether that be cold calling or doing presentations or outreach to like people in my network to really get my business and my finances in order. And so those were some of the big things that I really did not do such a good job about. And I'm not hurting or anything, but it definitely has an impact. And the last thing is, like, I just didn't really finish as strongly as I wanted to. Like, I kind of knew that this would happen, and I was trying to like think my way out of it. But just thoughts mean nothing. At the end of the day, it's the actions that really count. And I didn't take the actions necessary. Like, towards the end, like today, quite frankly, I just kind of gave up. I was like, at this point, there's no way out of this. And that's what we all kind of do, right? We just turn on the Netflix, start watching television, just like, screw it. And that's kind of what I did today. And it's kind of sad, quite frankly. I'm a little disappointed in myself that that's what I did, and instead of like just going all out, because who knows what would have opened up. But I also knew that like the breakdown around my finances and like this business happened way before, where I wasn't taking those key actions that would really move me forward just productively procrastinating with other stuff. And so that's something that I need to really confront. So what's next, right? This is what you're probably wondering. I'm not gonna stay in this like negative place. And so what's next for me really is doing more of those high value activities that are gonna really move me, my life, and this mission that I have forward and bring it to like fruition. And so what that might look like is my doing more podcasting, my doing, like more keynote speeches or interviews, panels, and just like generally collaborating with different institutions, different influencers, different people in the industry. I think that's one of the things that's really going to get me out there and start to grow my following and also start to grow my business. And it's just so many opportunities come when I put myself out there. And I see it's something that I actually really, really enjoy. Like that keynote speech that I did was just like, I felt so at peace. It was like, and at home when I was doing it. So that's one thing that I need to do. Also, another thing that I really want to happen is to create more engagement and really build out this community around this philosophy of taking action and not letting those fears and insecurities stop you, just like overcoming them, because on the other side is, a whole new world. And so going forward, I like building a community, a really engaged community that's really just getting after it and taking actions. That's one of the things that I'm really invested in making happen. Thirdly, I need to create a team. I've been doing everything by myself, and that just doesn't work. I've been really hitting that ceiling of just like what's possible for me. And I see that when I'm also working with other people, like my one buddy who partnered up with me for a bit, things start moving quickly and effectively and efficiently, and it's just like, wow. And it's fun too. And so building a team is definitely something that I'm going to make happen going forward. I want to definitely acquire at least between 1 to 3 new clients. With that, I should definitely be able to support myself and, not be just dipping into my savings anymore. And so that's a big one for me. This project cash flow is kind of perpetual. And it's going to be going on for the rest of my life, honestly. Like just, I want to become financially independent. And so I'm always looking for new avenues. The next thing that I'm really invested in creating or doing is really following those keystone habits, namely sleeping well, eating well, going to the gym, all of those health-related things, and then also just staying in communication and like building my relationships with the people that I really care about. My girlfriend, my best friends, my family, my mentors. Just that's something that's been missing, like I said, and I'm gonna really make a conscious effort to get to fill that hole and just be complete there and fulfilled. And then the last thing, obviously, is overcoming those fears and insecurities. Like the whole reason I'm doing all of this and continuing to grow and to expand and to see what's possible and be hopefully a model of, or not necessarily a model, but like a possibility for other people who are just like, man, like if he can do it, then maybe I can do it. And I think that's one of the big things that's been missing, in terms of really getting all of you guys engaged in this. Or maybe you are, and I'm just like not really as like attuned. I didn't create a way for us to really see what everybody's up to. But I will stop probably by like my fears and my insecurities around just really getting people involved in this. And so that's going to be another hurdle, just constantly growing, constantly evolving and discovering what life can be like. So yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate all of you who have been watching me just go through this journey over the past 45 days. Like, I don't take it for granted that you guys take your time to watch these videos. And I only hope that I could inspire you to start to take actions on whatever matters to you, and to like let go and overcome the things that are stopping you from making that happen. And you know, even though I'm not perfect and I haven't, you know, accomplished all the goals and things that I want, I'm very much committed to making that happen. It's just like a temporary setback, and you know, failures it doesn't mean anything about me as a human being, as a person, and it doesn't mean anything about you as a human being, as a person either. And so if you're at a setback, if you have a setback, just know that it's only temporary, and you can get through it, and you'll come out of it stronger. And that's the stance that I'm taking with this. And going forward, you know, just gonna keep grinding, keep living life to the fullest, and keep discovering what's possible if I let go of those fears and insecurities. So thank you so much again. As for this vlog and these channels and stuff, what am I gonna do? Not 100% sure. For now, I think I'm gonna continue to do these, you know, like quick updates. I definitely want to get them shorter, because they do take a bit of time with respect to editing, and I'm not sure that it's adding the most value to all of you, but I'm going to try to find other ways to add value to you. And I'm open to ideas and suggestions and collaborations, etc. So feel free to message me or leave a comment or whatever. But this isn't the last time I'm going to be doing this. And if anything, maybe I'll start up a new challenge pretty soon. So that's that. Thank you again. Love you all. And let's keep getting after it. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.